Hi, this is Scott with 4D Tech. Today we are in a 13 to 16 body style Super Duty that came MyFord Touch Sync 2 equipped. We will be performing the Sync 2 to Sync 3 upgrade in this vehicle. To perform this upgrade we need a few basic tools. A T20 Torx, a 7mm nut driver, and some plastic dash removal tools. Let's get started. First we need to remove these two black plates that have the various connectors and outlets in them to gain access to screws behind them. So we'll take one of our removal tools and pry on the top edge to pop it out. Then we need to disconnect the connectors by squeezing the tabs on the back of them and pulling them out. This tab's a little bit tougher on the power outlet. You got to squeeze it near the connector and unplug it. Same thing with this side. And we'll flip it over, squeeze the tab, and unplug it. Now we need to remove the two 7mm screws. They're in the lower corners of the openings. With those screws removed, we just need to put our hands inside of these openings and pull forward on the dash. And then work our way around to release it all the way across the top. And then we'll get it around the shifter. We won't need to disconnect everything, but we'll need to disconnect. There will be one black connector higher up that's on the back side of the power outlet that we'll squeeze and disconnect. That way we can just flip down this panel. We'll put a soft cloth here so that the panel doesn't rub on the dash. This is the connector that we disconnected from the back of the power outlet. Next we need to remove the 4 screws that hold the screen with the module in place. With those 4 screws out, we'll pull the screen out. We'll flip it down. We need to disconnect the USB cable by squeezing the tab at the back of the connector and unplugging it. And then this large lever lock connector, there's a little retaining clip right here in front of the gray lever. You push in, move the gray lever, push the gray lever all the way to release the connector. We're going to set this screen aside, but we will need the brackets off of it before we put the new system in. But first we need to install the GPS antenna and the hub. We'll start with removing the existing hub. You'll take one of your dash tools and pop the face off of the hub. And then one of the easiest ways to get the hub out is we could take something straight like our T20 Torx, put it in one of the holes on the hub and just pull forward. We'll pull the hub out and we'll disconnect on the back of it the USB connector by squeezing the tab and unplugging it, and then this regular connector here by squeezing the tab on the top. With that disconnected, we need to install the new hub. First, we'll take our hub wiring adapter that came with the kit, plug the larger connector in here, plug those two together, and that'll adapt to the new connector that we need. Included with the kit is a mounting adapter for the new hub because it's smaller than the original one. And we'll grab the new hub and slide it in the mounting adapter. Then we'll come up here, plug the power connector with the clip facing away from us in place, and we'll plug the USB in. The USB port is the one diagonal from the power plug. It's the only one that has an actual physical port inside of it. With that connected, we'll push this back in place. Next, we need to install the GPS antenna that comes with the kit. We like to do this just underneath the plastic of the dash, as it'll pull the signal through the plastic and that'll hide the antenna. The best place for this is when you reach through the opening, you'll reach all the way up and there's a headlight sensor, a daytime nighttime sensor all the way up here in the center front of the dash. Right behind it is flat plastic. So what we're going to do is stick the antenna to the bottom of that plastic using our adhesive pad. First, we'll open up one of the alcohol wipes that comes in the kit, and we'll alcohol wipe the underside of that plastic. You'll feel the smooth plastic when you go all the way up. You're almost touching that sensor with your fingers, and right behind it is a complete flat spot up there. We'll also clean the top of the GPS antenna also. The GPS antenna can be positioned any way like this, but the top does need to face up towards the sky. That's the only stipulation. So we'll take our double-sided adhesive pad, peel one side of it, and stick it to the top of the antenna. Then we'll peel off the other side, reach back in there, and stick it on the flat plastic. If you clean both the top of the antenna and the underside of the plastic well with the alcohol wipe, the adhesive pad will hold it just fine. Next, we need to get the brackets off of the old screen to transfer to the new Sync 3 screen and brain that comes pre-assembled. We'll set a soft cloth in place here so you can see what I'm doing. I suggest when you transfer the brackets that you set the screens face down on the foam that comes in the box that the kit is shipped in on a table, so it's easy to do. So we'll take this screen and we need to remove the brackets. And there's two T20s on each end. We'll make sure that we face our new Sync 3 system the same way so the brackets don't end up on backwards. So we had our connector on the right when we took this one off, so connector on the right again to put it on. And we'll do the same with the other end. With the brackets on the new screen and Sync 3 module, we just need to put this back in the dash opening where the old one came out of. So to do that, we need to connect a few connectors here. This 54-pin connector, make sure the lever's all the way out, push it in till the lever starts to move, and then use the lever to draw it the rest of the way until it clicks. Plug the USB cable into the black USB port. The light gray one is unused. Then we'll take our new antenna connector, make sure the clip on it is facing downward, and plug it into the back of the module. Now we'll swing this around and put it in the opening. Now that it's in the opening, we'll put back our 4 screws we took out earlier. With those 4 screws back in place, we'll put this panel back in. When we swing it up, remember to reconnect the one black connector we disconnected earlier. And when you line it back up, make sure you pull these connectors back through the opening. The panel will go back on pretty easy. If you have the trailer brake controller option on your truck, there's a slip bracket that it slides into to hold it. So you just want to make sure that gets realigned where it was and the panel snaps right back on. Now we just need to replace these 2 screws we took out. And with the screws back in place, we just need to put back these panels that we took out. You just got to slip the connectors back in until they click fully. The gray connector goes into the back of the outlet there. This little black connector goes in until it clips. Depending on how your vehicle's optioned, you may have had different connectors and options in these knockouts here. Clip that one back in. Now that the vehicle is back together, we'll start it up and get the system fired up. It may take a few moments to load up the first time after the Sync 3 has been installed. And you see the Sync 3 system is now loaded up with the custom programming from 4D Tech. All the features that were on the old Sync 2 system also appear on this screen. And you see the maps with the navigation as well. Now you see how simple it is to install the Sync 3 upgrade for Sync 2 in the 13 to 16 Super Duty from 4D Tech.